Hey Sagittarius, this is your oracle reading for October 2021. Sagittarius, October 2021. Spider, community and web weaving. Divination of the Ancients message for Sagittarius, October 2021. Oracle, wisdom. Divine Circus message for Sagittarius, October of 2021. The Juggler. Sacred Rebels message for Sagittarius, October of 2021. Bring it into form. Shamanic medicine message for Sagittarius, October 2021. Ancestors, wisdom. Mystical shaman message for Sagittarius in October 2021. Earth. Spider, community and web weaving. She spins her silk alone, in the dark with hope of collection. Sticky with dreams, weaving the worlds, a wide web of connection. Masses of sticky spider webs make any Halloween decorations complete. The idea of a haunted house covered in the artwork of a big, hairy spider is classic horror. Even those of us who appreciate our eight-legged friends still hurriedly brush off those stealthy webs if we run into them in the dark. Although most spiders are not venomous, humans have an innate fear of them. Perhaps it's the fangs or the poison. Perhaps it's all those legs and all the way they move. Perhaps it's where they live, often in dark hidden places, or the way our Western popular culture has demonized them by making them giant, fierce, and man-eating. Some cultures, though, revere the spider in a very positive way. In many Native American traditions, for example, the spider is a creature that gives birth to all the other animals and sustains the web of life. The goddess spider grandmother is a key deity that brings wisdom, safety, and communication to all the tribes. She created and wove all the stars in the sky and makes soft webs for those that are troubled to rest upon and be supported by. Spider webs can be seen as a symbol of connection, not necessarily entrapment. There is a fine line sometimes between a family or a community supporting us and controlling us. This card looks at this discernment. It also suggests you review the way you communicate with the wider community, at work or generally with others, and take steps to improve this or do it slightly different. It also indicates that there needs to be a balance between what you do for yourself and what you do for others. If we give too much to the outside, our strength diminishes, and we cannot weave the supporting web for ourselves. Oracle, wisdom. You already know the answer to your questions. You realize what lies behind the current circumstance and understanding what is best for you or yourself. Rather than seek the opinions of others, trust your inner knowing. Like a wise oracle, you are able to see through the darkness and shed light on situations that might baffle others. Acknowledge this and journey to the dark chambers within, for that is where you'll find the insights you need to help you on your journey. There is no cause to seek the approval of others. You have all the knowledge you need at this time. The answers I had all along, my knowing clear and wisdom strong. I tap into my inner seer and trust the truth, never to fear. Don't believe in others' claims. You are in touch with the truth in this situation. Trust your inner wisdom and gut instincts. Others will seek your advice. Don't be afraid to speak your truth. You have the psychic gift of claircognizance. The ancient oracles were devoted to the mother goddess. The oracle of Purwajet was sacred to the Egyptians and possibly the source of the oracle tradition that spread to Greece from Egypt. Today, gurus and oracles await us in faraway places, in caves, high mountains, and temples, waiting to share the wisdom if we choose to listen. The juggler. Many projects in the air, aspirations and inspirations everywhere. Action to take, commitments to make, and yet another will soon join the fray. Say yes, do not delay. It will all work out in the perfect way. You are capable of many things, and you are too important an asset to plan of love on this planet to be left idle. So life, the universe, and your own creative urges will ask a lot of you. There will be many inspirations, ideas, and dreams that will yearn to bring to life in the world. You might wonder if it's all a bit too much for any one person to handle. You might feel you are juggling so much already that if even one more demand or idea comes through, you'll drop the balls already in the air, and the whole damn thing will come undone. The juggler is the master multitasker. He brings the skills, wisdom, and tricks you need to not only successfully bring to life all your current dreams and ideals, but to be open to even more flowing through you. Can you do this without getting overwhelmed? Can you do this without becoming drained or exhausted? How can you do this without getting stuck in fantasy and failing to really launch, ground, and build each idea in the physical world, going through the rigors of taking a dream and turning it into a reality? He has the inside track. He knows 3 tricks on how to make this work. First, if you are overwhelmed, you are letting yourself get ahead of yourself, allowing your mind to move too far into the future. Bring it back to now, to just what can be done now. Let tomorrow take care of itself. Secondly, prioritize. What do you need to do most today, and what can be left until later? And thirdly, remember that the Divine Circus is a troupe, or troupe, a group filled with solo performers, but it is with their efforts combined that magic is created. So ask for help and remember that your individual success is actually part of the greater group success. The universe wants you to succeed. It will keep an eye on the pots of the boil whilst you stir the one that is bubbling over now. The juggler lets you know that you are going to manage all that is going on in your life if you remember to stay present and relax. Deal with what is immediately happening and not worry about other distractions. The more you do this, the more your juggling skills will improve. You'll not only handle all that's currently going on, but when another opportunity heads your way, you'll add it to the mix by grace rather than ending up with egg all over your face. So this down here is the foundation, supporting energies, angels, guides, messages, stuff like that. All the grounding energy that's helping you for the month. So the juggler, he's mastering the few things he can manage, and mastering the ability to do those things that he's managing. The oracle, you got the wisdom. You have an oracle guidance within you going on in October. Spider, community, and web weaving also correlates with the juggler. Okay? Remember, you're part of a bigger team than just you. So don't feel like it's all on you, right? Let others do what they got to do to master their craft or what they're good at. And web weaving also reminded me of the World Wide Web or internet or social media. So be careful of that you don't get tangled up in the other webs with the web that you're creating with your guild or your community. because the oracle knows that when one web gets a fly trapped in it, all the other webs, and then all the spiders are going towards it, and they're all fighting over it, right? So, careful juggling into other people's webs. Bring it into form, beautiful dreamer. You can imagine wonderful worlds of light. You can dream up so many possibilities. Now it is time to bring those possibilities of light into the world. They need to be more than ideas. They need to live, to manifest. The world needs not only your dreams, beautiful as they are, but also your creations. Get thee to thy desk, thy thy easel, thy computer. Work, beautiful dreamer. Don't just dream, create. You're being asked to honor yourself with a commitment to complete your inspired tasks. This will help you to grow, and that is a wonderful reason to commit. But there is another reason too. You know that your inspired ideas are worth translating into practical form so that other people can access them and experience something special too. If you have been thinking about writing a book, painting a picture, or acting on an inspiration or idea, then this oracle is bringing you an unequivocal yes. Do it now. Don't delay. Don't dally or dither about the details or worry about how it is going to work out. The universe loves a bold spirit. Once you take a step, it will rush toward you like an enthusiastic, chivalrous lover, opening doors, hand gentling, guiding you at your lower back as you are moved forward. You will promptly be provided with all that is needed to take the next step. There is a sacrifice inherent in translating the perfection of an idea into the limited physical form. Although something may be lost when turning a multi-dimensional concept of endless potential into something concrete, this oracle guides you to release that there is much more to be gained, to realize that there is much more to be gained. You must become free of this inspiration so that you can receive your next inspiration. It is already waiting for you, so on you must go. Okay? This oracle also confirms that the information you need to translate your ideas into form will be provided according to the higher wisdom of life. It may or may not happen by traditional routes, even if it seems unimaginable. When it is time for something to be born into form, nothing can stop it. It will happen. If you have also drawn the oracle of the sacred fool, feel assured that your path to success is not going to unfold according to the usual rules and regulations. It might happen in ways that surprise you and others, but it will happen. It is meant to be. If you have not drawn that card but feel drawn to read its message, do so after the healing process below. Ancestors, wisdom. The ancestors are our spiritual kin. They are ones who walk before us and in some way help shape the lives we lead today. You're being asked to honor the ancestors, to keep their memory and spirits alive, and to give thanks to them. Many indigenous peoples and cultures around the world do this. In following this tradition, you are partaking in a timeless connection through which the ancestors can impart their wisdom and assist you with your spiritual journey. Put flowers on a loved one's grave or give thanks to the ancestors whose qualities you've acquired. You may wish to dedicate a small altar with pictures of past loved ones in honor of their memory and light candles in remembrance of them. Honoring those who have walked before you and understanding their ways will help you to release hurts and pains. Healing ancestral lines can enable you to break free of destructive patterns and step into the freedom your soul yearns for. To be whole, wise, and complete. Call upon the wisdom of the ancestors and honor yourself for never giving up as you walk wisely in their footsteps. The old ones left us a great legacy of ancient wisdom to live by. These ancestral memories, created as oral traditions, were passed down within clans and tribes to their descendants. In every blade of grass, sacred site, and voice in the wind, the ancestors speak of ancient ways and future visions. It's time to listen, act, and restore the spiritual practices of the ancients. Light a candle in remembrance and honor of the ancestors. Someone from your past turns up. Investigate your ancestral lineage. You are watched over by a deceased loved one. A past life issue needs to be resolved. A visit to your homeland holds answers. Once made like you of blood and bone, from earth but now to spirit flown. Honor who we truly are. Wisdom claimed to take you far. All right, so the second tier here is all about what you can work on, what you need to focus on, what you can put your energy into. So, even though you might not be able to travel to your ancestor world, your location in the world, you can do Ancestry.com. You can do all kinds of other options. I don't necessarily think you should do that. There is a website, I can't remember what it's called, that doesn't have the fine print that's suspicious, like 23andMe or Ancestry.com. I don't trust those. There's another site I can't remember that I'm looking to do myself, where it's more of a trace your ancestry footprint in the world, where it's traveled from and what countries and stuff. But anyways, so we have two pyramids here. We have ancestors, oracle, and the juggler. So your genetics. You currently might be dealing with different aspects of your genetics, juggling them. You know, there's not many pure breeds in the world anymore. Those are few and far between and extremely rare. So even if you're like, well, I'm Asian or I'm Vietnamese, I guarantee you somewhere down the bloodline there was some mingling of other races. Whether they're all Asian from Japan or Korea or whatever. These are just examples like Europeans and British or Irish or England. They didn't just stick in their own country for hundreds of years. Trust me, there was mingling going on. Okay, so no matter what race you are, there's a 95% chance that you have a mix of races in your blood. I don't know exactly the percentages. There might be predominantly one or the other or whatever it may be, but there's something there. And that reminds me of the website. It had to do with that kind of lineage of traveling footprints and mingling of races, okay? Over here, bring it into form. Spider, oracle. Remember what the bring it into form does? Just be careful where you're stepping. These are like spider webs on the water. And it seems like they're walking on the water, leaving their footprint in the water. The spider webs. A spider web is also not just for spiders. They use that also for other things as well. It's a symbol of many integrated technologies that we have as well, if you think about it. And the oracle, the oracle knows. The ripples in the water is like when you're walking on a spider web. It triggers things, okay? So be careful as you go journey. What kind of karma you're setting up for yourself and lessons and stuff like that. Represents the gift of life. The symbol on this card refers to the body of the planet Earth, the human body, and nature herself. We're reminded by this symbol that all creatures are born of the earth and human beings are the stewards of all life on this planet. It refers to what we make of it. Our health, wealth, security, grounding, solidity, and stability. It reminds us that the world of form is a gift from spirit and needs to be treated with respect. When the earth symbol appears, it represents a need to focus on reverence and appreciation for the natural gifts that are coming to you now and always. The concrete world you inhabit is there by the grace of spirit and you are a part of it. Much can be accomplished now when you focus on compassionate, reverent service to the world. If you act with integrity, gratitude, and humility, you will find yourself more prosperous than you can imagine. Success is assured when the earth appears as an invitation. Do you feel ungrounded or easily thrown off your path lately? It is time to focus on what nurtures you. To open yourself to the healing of Mother Earth and see the abundant world around you. Perhaps you have lost the ability to trust that your needs will be met and have fallen prey to poverty consciousness. Perhaps you have not been eating well, been overworked and stressed, and forgotten to breathe in the beauty of your surroundings. When the spirit of earth comes as your medicine, you're being reminded that when you practice self-care. Take a walk in nature and focus on the consciousness of abundance. Miracles can and do happen. All right, so up here, this last part of the pyramid at the top is the heavens, God, source, creator, universe, force, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to believe in, quantum physics. As above, so below. Okay. Let's take away these two cards. You got a diamond. As above, so below. So Earth and the Oracle, right? Grounding yourself in knowing what you know. Okay. Bring it into form. You're getting assistance from your ancestors, and even though it feels like you're juggling, the web of DNA genetics, there's this new, I don't know if it's new, but there's this new movement to believe the Naga as being the great holy blah blah blah, even though they're really the fallen angels, but the great testers. They're also spiders in nature of creating webs and tying knots. Okay, except for their knots aren't very specially designed in a harmonic path or roundabout circle. It's not very pretty, is what I'm saying. Their knots are ugly. Okay, and I'm not saying that because they're bad, evil. I'm saying their intentions are misguided and they don't know what they're doing. So you forgive the Naga and you're trying to love them with compassion, saying, "Hey, let me turn you white, you snake." like St. Patrick, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you don't need to be here right now. You've done enough damage. You can come back when we've cleared up this knot you made. Okay? And when you come back, you can deal with your own knots and make your own knots for as long as you want to make knots until you realize those knots aren't really the truth of self-mastery. That's not necessarily true either, self-mastery, because self-perception of self is dependent on the instincts that come about from existing, I guess. I'm getting too deep into this stuff. I'm going to keep it simple here. Just remember the message. The message from Earth, and the guidance. Bring it into form with your ancestors' assistance and the spider community web weaving of oracle wisdom and within you, juggling what you can and mastering what you're juggling. And that was your oracle message reading for October, Sagittarius. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next month.